The road trip from hell makes its final stop. Thank the Lord. In the nation's capital, the Edmonton Oilers, they're reeling, they're struggling. Losers of 3 in a row. Coming down to Ottawa. Final stop, also taking on another struggling, reeling squad in the Senators. Daniel, somebody has to win tonight's hockey game, so it might as well be us. But hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, presented by Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Live from Dogpatch in the River Valley. It's the first of many this season. We are down here. Check out this awesome backdrop behind us. This isn't a green screen. These are, in fact, real speakers, and it's got those are real records as well. There's real record players. Dogpatch is legit, something we're going to be doing ideally all season long, so feel free, come on down, keep it locked on our socials. Daniel, I do see some people pointing out in the chat that it's too early for them to pregame. It is never too early for us to pregame, especially down here at Dogpatch, where they even have Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Give me a minute.
Delicious. My first appearance on Pregaming with Bordzy. I'm joined and delighted to be in person with you.
Welcome back, son. Welcome back.
And you welcomed me with a Dogpatch beer.
You also want to talk about the service down here at Dogpatch?
Unreal.
One of the lovely servers over here delivers us these beers right before we go live, and she says, do you want me to just pour you a fresh one when you finish that one? And yes, that is exactly what
the person that you are. You said no.
I know, that was weird. That was weird.
And then you rethought it, and we're back.
Snap back into reality.
You can't pregame maybe at the office at 4 p.m. You're waiting to check out. Maybe you've got it down on mute, but we've got you covered.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll drink all the beers you need. I'll drink all the beers. So come on down, keep it locked. We will be doing post-game, I believe, from up in the studio. So the way we plan this is that we're going to come down here, do pregame, and if people want to come on down, eat some delicious food. The Dogpatch menu, not gonna lie to you, 30 minutes ago, me and Brett were both Googling the Dogpatch menu, going through it and going, do I want that or I want that? Trick question. I want it all. We're both gonna get the different things and we're gonna share together. It's gonna be an awesome one. Come down. But the idea is that we'll watch the game together. We'll have a good time. Occasionally, maybe, depends on the turnout, maybe we'll play some games here or there, what up or whatever. And then I think ideally we might do the post-game show upstairs in the studio, unless you guys want to watch a live pre-gaming or After Dark in person, because then the Dogpatch staff can leave. We can go up there. Maybe viewers can get out of the building a little bit earlier.
We'll have to do a vibe check.
It's a vibe check. It's a vibe report. We're trying out new things here at Oilers Nation, and I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty excited. 4 p.m., I'm already drinking a beer, and I'm already thinking about delicious food courtesy of Dogpatch. But let's get caught up into the chat. I see a couple familiar faces in here. No Austin for the first one of the day. Kind of crazy. Cedric's in and he says, let's go Oilers. Happy to have Bordzy, which he misspelled. It's right there at the top of the screen. Happy to have Bordzy back for another game. I'm kidding. I love you. Spell it whatever way you want. Mr. Burns, let's go Oilers. Time to close out this road trip with a big fat W, a big fat orange W. Hopefully, Sadistic Angel. Happy game day. Let's go Oilers. See Dan the chat? They're still positive. They're still optimistic. We know. And the reason to be optimistic is one Jake the Snake Wallman. He's in the chat. He's in the locker room, and he says, I'm back. I don't think you could have picked a better timing for Jake the Snake to come back at a time, and we'll talk about it. When the Oilers can't complete a 5-foot pass, let alone a breakout pass, I think Jake is going to be vital for the Oilers' success. Amanda's in. Thank God it's pre-gaming time. I was struggling to find something to watch while I clean out my bathroom cupboards. Hey, happy to help. Happy to help. Obviously, as well. After Dark's a podcast form as well. Whatever way you want to take in this show, I am in support. Cheryl, one of our queens, is in. Says, have to say the pre-gaming at work is not as fun. Speak for yourself, lady. Drinking wine during office hours seems to be frowned upon, LOL.
We don't really have a real job.
Yeah, we don't. Can't even believe that we have salary and benefits. She says, LOL, let's get the W tonight, boys. And then Austin, did my comment not register today? What the hell, LOL. He did DM me, and I thought that he said he got the first comment. We're still working out the kinks here, bright and early into the season, fighting Amish hipster set. Cedric, pretty cool background. I would agree with it as well. If you've never been down to Dogpatch before, it's in the River Valley. Let you know a little secret. this is where we live. This is where the office is as well. Come on down. It's a good time. But Daniel, you know what was a good time? The Toronto Blue Jays game yesterday, baby. I see you're wearing your finest Blue Jays attire. What do we got in the back?
Mariners lose.
Schneider.
It's a John Schneider manager game-worn jersey. I picked it up. I was still manager of the travel events in back in 2022, and we took the nation vacation during the summer out to see our friends at Jays Nation, and we took in a couple of Blue Jay games there. And yeah, I was just walking around the city and walked into the Blue Jay store, and the game-worn jerseys are actually a little bit cheaper than the authentic
and
jerseys.
I would assume the manager game-worn jersey is even cheaper than the player-worn jersey.
I found a steal of a deal, and there's actually a little QR code on the jersey here. I'll show it up for the camera.
Scan it.
And you can scan that, and you can see what games he wore it for. So it's just it's a fun thing where, as a manager that has been embattled, and I think some of his decisions, especially in this championship series, have been called into question. A guy that sticks to his guns and is always there for his people. I just like to represent that.
There's a lot of things I like about John Schneider. Top of the list. He's been with the team what feels like forever. Been around. He had an awesome post-game interview. But I will say it, that man knows how to perfectly time an F-bomb. He knows when to use the F word to not make what you're saying sound dumber, but to totally emphasize what you're saying. He picks and chooses them, those speeches, before they pop off the bottles in the locker room afterwards. Let me ask you this. Are you one of these people that has a problem with them popping champagne after every single round? Where do you come out on this?
It's a two-toned answer. We just had our municipal election here yesterday. I'm going to give you a politician's answer. On the one side of it, sure, I act like you've been there before, understand the moment, pretend like you know what it is to win, all those things, and you can score some cheap points that way. But at the end of the day, baseball is one of the most grueling sports because of its regular season schedule. Those guys play 130, 140 games in a season. They have to be on for all of the games that they're
one day off
for.
a week, maybe.
And so it's a tough slog for any player to be involved with, let alone think of yourself as a fan. How many fans are able to tune in for 2.5 hours a day, 6 and 7 or 6 and 5 days a week?
I'm exhausted watching 82 of these and having to talk about it after. Imagine playing.
So it's a
I have so many beers.
And then on top, then you get the most exciting playoffs in professional sports, in my opinion.
Yep.
So I understand it for each team in each city to want to be excited about getting a pennant. It is not easy to acquire a pennant, and for the Toronto Blue Jays to have had now their third AL pennant in their entire franchise's history, that's something special. So you know what? Celebrate all you want. Who cares? At the end of the day, the celebration is for the players. Sure, you're going to get some social media clips out of it and whatever. The Dodger fans that forget that their team also celebrated are going to be able to score some cheap points in moments like this. But it is what it is. Let the players enjoy it. It's fun.
I think it on so many realms that I do not agree with people bitching about it. You counting another man's beers? Why are you counting another man's beers? If they want to have some and they want to drink some champagne, who are you to tell them that they shouldn't be doing that? They work very hard. And then the other realm is, if we just took all these Sportsnet cameras and all the media members out of the locker room, I feel like no one would be talking about it as much. That is a celebration for the players, for the team. Shout out Hazel May, because she gets those beers dumped on her and champagne everywhere. She is an absolute trooper. But I think the reason people have this feeling towards the celebration is just because it's thrown in your face constantly online, because they're filming it all and they're capturing it all. Let the men drink their beers. Let them drink their beers.
Go Dodgers, baby.
Love the line, though. I love the line. Don't count
another man's beers. Why are you doing that? Also, I like that we hear the voice of God from Brett right now, like he's above us, because he is actually technically right above us. He is upstairs in the studio on the second floor doing a bang-up job behind the scenes.
But we wouldn't let him go on camera because he has a Dodgers jersey.
He's wearing a Dodgers jersey. It is on site all week, all for the next 2 weeks with our boy Brett Holden.
Yeah, I'm with Jesse Tracy, though. Goggles are weak sauce. They should be putting the champagne directly in their eyeballs. What?
The goggles, I feel like, classic Simpsons line, the goggles, they do nothing. Nobody else will understand that except for us.
Yeah, we like it.
Shout out to the Blue Jays. Once again, I believe we discussed today on ONE. I said, Tyler, give it to me straight, Doc. They even have a chance to win this series, and he said it might be one of the craziest upsets ever if the Toronto Blue Jays were able to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. But that's enough baseball talk. We are here for the Edmonton Oilers. And to be honest with you, wanted to kill 10 minutes of that because we've talked enough about the Edmonton Oilers' rough weekend on this road trip. Straight ass is the way I'm going to say it. Back-to-back snooze fest on the weekend. If you fell asleep during one of those hockey games, I do not blame you for that. So the one against the New Jersey Devils on Saturday was a tough effort. I think capital sloppy is what I've been saying throughout the weekend. That was the word of the week, not even the weekend. I want to give both teams credit for the Devils and Red Wings because they are both good squads. The Detroit Red Wings right now are on a roll of all rolls. They've won 5 games in a row, and we know the Devils, they are a playoff caliber team. They played better, but I argued that I didn't think it wasn't about what the Devils and Red Wings did. It was about the lack of what the Edmonton Oilers could do throughout this weekend. They couldn't complete a pass 5 feet in front of them. They couldn't make the simple pass. And then when they were in prime scoring opportunities and had good chances, they were overpassing that puck, not capitalizing on their opportunities, not even attempting to capitalize on their opportunities. I mentioned it. There was a visual. Darnell, 3-on-2 odd man rush, shoves the puck over to the side half wall, doesn't even get a shot off. It wasn't just Nursey. It isn't just, your bottom 6 guys. It's the top guys here for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. They are overpassing the puck like crazy. The word of the weekend, sloppy, could also be simplicity. I think the Oilers need to get back to a simple game here. Muck and grind. You cannot score if you don't shoot. You look at the Noah Philp goal that was scored in the second period against the Red Wings. Dirty, gross, greasy shot from Vasily Podkolzin gets tipped. The Dylan Larkin goal, same kind of thing. And while I do think in the third period against the Red Wings, there was finally some urgency snapped in for the Oilers. Maybe it was because there was no whistles for like 12 straight minutes. They had no choice to think about it. They were just more go, go, go. And I do think they found a simpler game. And Daniel, it sounds simple to just say, play the simple game. I'm curious, what were your thoughts over the weekend? I've talked about it more than enough. Need this puck to be dropped already so we can delete the weekend. But your thoughts, back-to-back snooze fests on the weekend.
Yeah, to me, it's just unacceptable from the Edmonton Oilers, and that's okay to say as a fan. It's also okay that they've lost some hockey games in October because we tend to do this quite often if you've been following along the last 2 years that we've made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. But for me, the story was painted yesterday against the Detroit Red Wings, and you alluded to it there. At the end of the game was when the offense started to kind of wake up, and the offensive forwards are started to get shots on the net. But when Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, Matthias Ekholm, Ty Emberson are all leading the team in shots, and then you've got Isaac Howard and Connor McDavid following up with 2 shots themselves, to me, it's just not good enough. And for this offense, when you're going out and you're getting goalied, I'm okay with that because this team is built on putting the offense out there, getting the pucks on the net, and seeing what can happen. I say it with the Dylan Larkin, throwing it at the net and going off of some skates, having something happen for you. We don't see it yet from this Oilers team. We talk about it every single season that they need puck luck. They need a little bit of help here and there. Well, you got to go out and create your own puck luck. You've got to be taking the puck to the net when you get into the zone and establishing some zone time instead of just one and done, in and out, fly around the zone, lose the puck, give it away.
Or the overpassing, hey man, just when you've got an opportunity, and especially when you as a whole team are struggling right now to score goals, it is not a bad idea to shoot the puck. That was alarming to look at there, that you just went through all of the defensemen. All those shots must have been coming from the point last game, and that looks like a game that would put me to sleep as I'm thinking about this weekend. Also, Cody's in. I keep forgetting that game's at 5. What have I missed? Blue Jays are sick, and we're down here at Dogpatch. Come on down all season long. Some other people in here fighting Amish. I screamed shoot a lot at 97 during the last couple of games. I think everybody's done that. Not just our old men, not just our grandfathers. You always become what you hate is what I've been arguing, and I've been screaming it ad nauseum lately. I do think there will be a different looking Connor McDavid. He looks frustrated as shit. Him and Leon Draisaitl both, they're going to both be playing on the top line this evening with one Vasily Podkolzin. Keep saying it, Dan, but we're 6 games into the year here, and Connor McDavid has yet to score a goal after he spent the entire summer talking about, I want to prove that scoring 50 and 60 isn't just a one-off. I am capable of doing this. What have you thought about the top dog, specifically Connor McDavid, couple games in?
I was frustrated that we started the season with Draisaitl and McDavid together, especially now that I'm proven right, because it didn't really seem to give us the fruit that we were hoping for and that we've seen from that combination previously. And then I was encouraged to see them get away from it a little bit and just force those guys. As much as I love Connor and Leon, sometimes you've got to just make your best players be the best players on the ice when they're out there. And years previous, they've been able to complain about the talent that we've put around them. The complaints aren't there anymore. I like what I see out of a Tomasek. I like what I see out of Ike Howard and Matthew Savoy.
Andrew Mangiapane. Trent Frederick is even.
We talked about Trent
Frederick.
There's
glimpses of it, but he scored.
But yeah, it just, for me, it's about time that those guys figure it out. Opportunity number 2 that we've reunited the nuclear deterrent with a Andrew Mangiapane combination. Is that who's up there tonight? Or
no, it's Podkolzin.
Sorry, with a Podkolzin
bringing his lunch pail
up at the top. So it's time to put up. I want to see tonight. To me, an unacceptable performance would be anything less than 30 shots.
I agree, and I think tonight, and we'll get into it, some of the numbers for the Ottawa Senators to start the season. Linus Ullmark had a very rough go to start the year. The Ottawa Senators are averaging 5 goals against per game through 6 so far this season. They're 2-4. If that ain't a get-right spot for the Edmonton Oilers, I don't know what is. There's one man, though, who can save the Edmonton Oilers, and he's returning to the lineup this evening in one, Jake the Snake Walman, and it simply could not be better timing as the Oilers, yes, they have now dropped 3 in a row, but Walman, I think, is the answer to a lot of the Oilers players thus far. Some of the issues that have plagued them, the inability to create smooth tape-to-tape breakout passes out of your own zone. We know the Edmonton Oilers, they're a team that's best, especially the top skilled guys, when they are playing with speed, playing with momentum, up the ice, able to use that speed to, we've all seen it, defensemen go, oh, fuck, there comes Connor McDavid the other way. But some of these breakout passes to start the season so far are either so far ahead of them, they can't even corral it, so far behind them, they got to stop and completely kill their forward momentum in the feet, hopping over sticks, whatever you want to say. It's been ugly. Darnell Nurse has been a major factor of that. I love him. Not Nurse for Norris year. We can probably take that one away through 6 games. But I believe in the guy. We know he is capable of more, but he has been fighting it to start the season. We saw him play with Alec Regula. We've seen him play with Troy Stetcher, who's been dubbed the Darnell Nurse Whisperer, but even he hasn't been able to fix any of those issues this year. This is Walman making his season debut. Also, first game fresh off that 7-year, $49 million ticket that he signed. And I just think his skill set is exactly what the Edmonton Oilers have lacked thus far. And you don't want to put too much pressure on a guy returning from injury, right? Do we know what the injury is? No, it's knobby. It was undisclosed, but it happened during the preseason. It kept him out for multiple games here, 6 to start the year. But Dan, you're kind of picking up what I'm laying down. His skill set, his style of play could be an answered prayer for the Oilers right now.
Yeah, well, and for me, it is frustrating that we have to be acting like this and talking like this, where we're saying that Jake Walman coming back is going to be the thing that fixes this Oilers team. But there is something to be said for.
It's one of those load-bearing walls that if you take it out, the whole thing crumbles. That's Jake Walman,
and it is because, and it was our colleague Liam Horrobin that pointed this out the other day, that you see a guy like Evan Bouchard struggling. And does Jake Walman fix that for him? No, of course it doesn't. But what it does mean is when Bouchard is struggling, Nobby has to look down the rest of his bench and ask, am I going to ask more of the guys behind him, like a Troy Stetcher? And we've seen what that's done for this team this season. Unfortunately, I think that, admittedly in a small sample size, the Troy Stetcher, experiment, I guess, is just maybe not working out, and that's something.
Shockingly enough, he might not be the whisperer to Darnell Nurse that we need.
He just can't answer. He can't meet the moment when there's a need for excess.
And that's not Troy Stetcher's responsibility to be that guy for someone getting paid $9.25.
But that's the point: is that Jake Walman is that guy.
He is
the person that we should be able to count on to be able to take off some of that load from a guy like Evan if he's having a bad night. Yeah. And he's been having some bad nights. Evan Bouchard can admit that to himself, and I think Oiler fans are okay to admit that, while also still saying that he's going to be fine on the Olympic team. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, just to me, the Walman thing, again, it's a little bit frustrating that we're counting on this. But when you look at just everything, when it comes to puck carrying, when it comes to the confidence of this team, and then it comes to the little things like Evan Bouchard struggles and anybody else on the right side that's struggling like a Troy Stetcher, it's just important for this team to be able to get the complementary personnel back that we need to have.
That's good. Complementary personnel. I do think, right, you're not going to bench Evan Bouchard for a whole game, but and once again, it's just been here and there for Evan Bouchard. I do think he was better this weekend, but you need to be able to sit him down for a shift or two. But you didn't have the confidence without Jake Walman to do that before. Evan Bouchard is your guy, so you want to roll with him. Jake the Snake, not too much pressure, but my God, we need you. And him and Darnell Nurse, they played 24 minutes together at 5v5 last season. Just wrote down some numbers. 24 minutes, numbers, vaguely positive. 52.1% shot attempt share, 60% scoring chance share, and 58.2% expected goal share. Those are positive numbers. So hopefully he can build on it also. It's the first day back for Jake Walman. You know Jake Walman blocks shots. You might have to bet on that this evening. I didn't put it in Bordzy's bankroll.
Brett, what do you think about that? Brett, what do you think?
Look at these numbers here on the screen. I made Brett make this one earlier. Jake Walman played 37 games with the Oilers last season. He had 100 even blocked shots. And while that was amazing, it was not enough for our boy Brett to not get tattooed earlier this season. Bert, I don't know if you're there or not.
A shout out from me for committing to a bit and sticking to it, Brett. That's a huge one.
Bert, this is your boy through and through. How excited are you for him?
I am so pumped to see Jake Walman back in this lineup tonight. For the last week, every time I go to the washroom and pull my pants down, I see his number and the snake that is on my leg. Let's just be clear, the snake is on my leg. It's nowhere else. I cannot wait to see Jake Walman play tonight. Exactly, and I think it was Liam who mentioned it this past week. We haven't really seen the Edmonton Oilers top four since they acquired Walman at full health, at full strength. Ekholm was injured early last year, or late, I should say, last year, and going into the playoffs as well. So we haven't really been able to see what this roster and back end can look like. And now tonight with, Matthias Ekholm has looked pretty good so far in his return this season. So this is going to be the first time we're actually seeing that top four in action. I'm really optimistic about it. I'm really looking forward to it.
I can't remember what media source ranked the Edmonton Oilers top four defense scorer as number one in the entire NHL. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
I subscribe for 99 cents or $1.99. Shout out to them. But the fact that you look back in the NHL playoffs last year, the Oilers ran through the Western Conference. Yeah, they had Jake Walman. They didn't have Matthias Ekholm. And then obviously in the Cup final, I don't think Ekholm was at 100% strength. We don't need to go back there. But this could be the first time you get a look at that top four. And the point I want to make about Jake Walman, nice, another beer just showed up. Amazing. Shout out to staff at Dogpatch, baby. This is what it's all about. And that Jake Walman this summer has been very committed that, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, if you're going to play me on the right side with Darnell Nurse, you're going to start me there in the beginning of the year. I want to be there all season long. He's committed to playing on his offside, if you will, however you want to say it, which I think speaks volumes for what this guy wants to do for his team. Fill in the holes, do whatever you can to help win. Let's ride top four. Let's ride. The other thing I want to add on to, we're still at 24. Let's talk about it. Rico, his 1,000th NHL game going down this evening. He will become the 409th player in NHL history to reach that milestone. But I'm sure you've seen it online today. Kind of a nuts fun fact, stat, whatever you want to say. Adam Henrique will be the first Edmonton Oiler to ever play his 1,000th game in an Edmonton Oilers jersey. You can go back to Wayne Gretzky never did it. Messier never did it. Ryan Smith never did it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is next on the doorstep. He's played 965 career games, all as an Oiler. Kevin Lowe has played over 1,000 total games for the Edmonton Oilers, but his 1,000th game, specifically that game, was played as a member of the New York Rangers, then obviously came back for a second tenure with the Edmonton Oilers.
I'd be curious to know what the chat thought when they heard that. what player they think, surely. Because for me, it was Jason Smith.
Yeah, Gator.
I was entirely convinced
good-
that his 1,000th game was with the Oilers. It turns out it was with the Ottawa Senators.
Ew.
Weirdly enough,
Ew.
I've been in attendance for one 1,000th game. I saw Chris Phillips play the Oilers back in 2016 or
Wow, we got a lot of Senators
16 or
things going on
17, I
right
think
now.
it was.
Chris Phillips, we're
Yeah,
playing
hey?
the Senators.
It was and so they gave him a painting, but we were trying to figure it out today. What do you think they're going to give him for? I know that they came out in the F1 jerseys you were showing.
Bert, pull them up here if you've got the shirts. That I love this Oilers squad right now. Unison team uniforms, team outfits. I'm about this, but these shirts, they're Rico. I think they're F1 racing shirts. I believe that Rico is a racing guy. So it's got the Rico on the front. Love that Coors Lights up there. Biggest one you got. And then on the back of the shirt, even I can't really see what it says, but you can tell it's got the Devils, the Ducks, and the Edmonton Oilers telling some of that journey. Also, shout out Matt Savoy. He's a beautiful model for the Oilers. And Dan, in answer to your question, I want to say that I would have said Ryan Smith, but I knew that he hadn't played 1,000 games.
LA Kings
so
is who he played
it probably would have been like Mess. That probably would have been the answer that I would have thought. I'm curious. People in the chat, Jake Wallman says Kevin Lowe, and he has played 1,000 games for the Oilers, but not 1,000 consecutive straight in an Oilers uniform. All the players that would have hit 1,000 went to win a cup with Moose in New York.
Unfortunately,
that's a very good point.
Exactly why that is true. Because
for Rico, though, I don't know. You see them all the time. They do like the silver sticks. They bring the
for
family
1,000 points. We found out
OEL last year. I'd be curious. We asked Cam Lewis. I remember we made a bunch of jokes about it last year on pre and post game that it was Oliver Ekman-Larsson's 1,000th NHL game, and we kept joking, "Where were you when?" for OEL's 1,000th. But they gave him a big silver stick or whatever. It was signed by the team. I'm curious what they will have for Rico. There you look at his career on your screen. 999 games played, 559 points. And while Daniel, when Adam Henrique was acquired by the Edmonton Oilers from the Anaheim Ducks, he had that season total combined over 20 goals. We have not seen that type of offensive production from Rico since he's joined the Oilers. But I don't know. I don't hold the weight of Adam Henrique to his point total. I think he's playing a completely different role on the squad for the Oilers. He is a bottom six centerman that can play the wing, has even played top six wing with Connor McDavid before. He's a PK guy through and through, but he is just a pro's pro. He is a professional, and I think his dividends, especially later in his career here, are going to be in the locker room. We saw early to start the season. Ike Howard, Matt Savoy, stapled on the wings with Rico. I hope that applies to road trips as well. You know, show him the lay of the land of life on the road, maybe even some good restaurant recommendations. But my thought to you, or my question to you is, what have you thought overall of Adam Henrique's tenure as an Edmonton Oiler? Because you read online, some people say, you know, overrated, past his prime, doesn't have the scoring prowess he once did. It might still be in there, but he's not playing that role for these Oilers anymore. What have you thought about Rico and his tenure?
Well, I think it is really important that everybody kind of just takes a moment to understand that 408 players have only done that in the entire history of the NHL. Only 408 players have had the longevity to be able to play 1,000 games. And I think that that's really important when we talk about the greatest players of all time. Like, longevity really does play into it. A guy like Gordie Howe playing until he's 45 years old in professional hockey, that's incredible. And so to me, for guys now to be at that point, it's awesome to see. And you alluded to it. And I think that fans that were hoping that we were going to get the Adam Henrique that everybody heard about from the Anaheim Ducks and knew and watched with the New Jersey Devils in his younger years, you were fooling yourself. You acquire a player at 33 years old. It's a different style of play, and he's coming into a team where he was an offensive guy on most of the teams that he was on previously and asked to do more of. Whereas in this team, it's had to shift into his latter years of his career a little bit
jack of all trades role
and become more of a utility
guy. He's a Nuge light.
Exactly, where he and Nuge is a person that kind of does dictate to him what his role is going to be on this team, depending on where we are utilizing Nuge at any given time. So you appreciate, and I think you have to really respect and of course tip your hat to a guy that put down 1,000 games in the NHL, and he's got years and years ahead of him, I think, of efficacy at this level and shifting his play into more of a defensive role.
I just think Rico, that's a winning hockey player. That's a guy
Yep.
you win with. That's a guy that
Yep.
whatever you ask him, what role you want him to play, he's going to do. I like Jake Wallman. Get loose, brother. You're hitting the ice right away. He says you know exactly what you get from Rico Saski. He is getting a painting for sure. Yeah, probably I could see that as well. They tend to do those paintings from time to time. Final one, let's just talk about the opponent, then we'll get into our need to know. 30 minutes just flew by when you're having fun down here at Dogpatch. Also, starting to fill up a little bit. I like the lady right here. Can I sit here?
Absolutely.
You're damn right you can. You can hang out, be on the show if you want. But the Oilers, they are in the nation's capital tonight. Final game of a 5-game Eastern road swing. Just seeing the Oilers go 1-3 thus far. Don't need to focus on that. We said that you can't, me and Liam said, you can't totally salvage this road trip because it has been sloppy play. It has been bad play. But the Ottawa Senators have also been playing some bad hockey as of late. They have lost 4 of their last 5. They're 2-4-0 on the season. And Daniel, they are without their captain and their leader in one Brady Tkachuk. So he underwent surgery on his right thumb. And he's expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks. We made a bet on ONE. Me, Tyler, Liam, and Eli each picked 4 bets, futures bets on Bet365. The winner, or whatever, I don't even know if you win anything, but the loser on the whole season, money totals, unit totals, has to do the milk mile, drink 4 liters of milk and run 4 laps. And one of my bets was for Brady Tkachuk to hit his over point total, whatever it is.
Ooh.
He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh.
I've been starting to drink a little bit more milk, but that's besides the point.
Oh, no.
He's going to be out, so there's some big shoes here to fill for the Senators. The one guy who's been filling them and filling the net has been one Shane Pinto, as he has 7 goals in the first 6 games of the season. He's the first Senator to ever do that. So he's been a bright spot, but I tell you, their defense and their goaltending thus far has been, I'll say it, dog shit to start the season. Linus Ullmark is 2-3-0. He has a .399 goals against average, rough, and an .848 save percentage. Ottawa is allowing an even 5 goals against per game through 6 this season. They are also 31st in the NHL on the PK. Maybe a get-right spot once again for the Edmonton Oilers. This team has not found their defensive game. You can look through their lineup. Their decor, I think, is a little bit left to the imagination there, and this is a spot where when you look at Ullmark's numbers, you look at that defense score, you look at how they have been leaking goals this season. I like this spot for the Edmonton Oilers offense tonight. And I might even like the over because, I haven't checked what the overs were in all these Sens games. I got to think they have all smashed if you're allowing 5 goals against a game.
Well, you know what? I'm feeling fairly confident in our goaltending tonight and in our team overall. I really on ONR today, my prediction was 5-1 is the score. I just think that this is the time to turn things around. The Ottawa Senators are a island of misfit toys when it comes to the forward group, and as you alluded to, their defense leaves something to be desired. And it's a team that's always kind of struggled for its own identity, but especially when you lose your captain in Brady Tkachuk, it's difficult to come around. So the moment the iron is hot for the Edmonton Oilers, I'm still concerned that first period might be a litmus test as to where this team is right now. But you alluded to it. You can't save this road trip. All you can do is start to tee yourself up for the rest of the home swing.
Just say enough is enough, and let's have a breaking point here of, okay, we need to look in the mirror, play that simple style hockey. Either way, you've heard me say it ad nauseum. I like confidence in the Stuart Skinner goaltending. We're going to get into that in a minute. I also saw somebody in the chat say he wants to give Stuart Skinner his flowers. Oh, I will do that for you, brother. But let's go now. Need to know information courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef, the jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more information, head on over to Wilhauk Beef Jerky to, in fact, get yo jerky on. So for the Edmonton Oilers and your need to know, Bert, can you just pull up the expected lineup combos that we saw earlier today? Because there's multiple changes. There's a couple changes going on this evening. Most notably is the top line. So we're going nuclear. Well, I like you call it the nuclear deterrent. That's
Mhm.
nice. It's McDry featuring Vasily Podkolzin on that first line left wing. We've seen a revolving door of forwards playing with Connor and Leon. We've even seen Connor and Leon get flip-flopped from time to time. Pods, I think he's got a very simple job tonight of what he's got to do. Your second line, Andrew Mangiapane with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jack Roslovic. Your third line, Freddie with Philpy and Matt Savoy. I like the look of that third line, and I like the way, makes no sense, but Trent Frederick is what did I say earlier? He is a more skilled offensive player when he's playing with shittier skilled offensive players in the bottom six. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but I know a trend when I see one. Your fourth line, I cowered with Rico and Tommy Smokes making his return to the lineup. I said Tommy Smokes today to Louis.
I heard.
He kind of liked it. Hopefully he says it later today. I'm going to go nuts if he says Tommy Smokes at some point.
I've been trying to get him to say hockeyfights.com on the air for about 3 years, so I like your chances.
Keep trying. Your deep pairings, Ekholm with Bush, Nurse with Wallman, Kulak with Emberson, and then obviously Stetcher and Regula are both not going to be playing. Stetcher's out. Regula, I believe, is on the IR, and one Stuart Skinner will get the start for the Oilers. Kasperi Kapanen, he's been placed on IR after Sunday's game. It was a weird play when it happened. It was on the forecheck. He was trying to line up a body and then missed and went flying right into the boards. Looked very uncomfortable. I believe we're being told it is a lower body injury.
They don't suggest that you hit the boards. They don't have a lot of give to them,
boards,
but
tend to not get.
We'll see how it works out for him.
So no Kapanen for an extended period of time. We talked about what are the Oilers going to do to get Zach Hyman back in. Liam keeps making a joke. These injuries, it just keeps kicking the problem down the road. Future us will deal with that. Connor McDavid, he leads the Oilers in points with 7, but has yet to score a goal this season, which that needs to change. But the real shocking one for me, Dan, the Oilers, they've played 6 games. Evan Bouchard has 0 points throughout the regular season. He's been a point-per-game player, 80-plus points before in his NHL career. It's got to come eventually. I like a Bouchard shot prop. We just went through the shots in the last game. He hit it there. He continues to kind of rip the puck, even though it doesn't feel like it as much on the Edmonton Oilers power play, but Bouchard need to get that point.
I will say, as much as we were poo-pooing on the offense there by pointing out the defensive prowess,
that they're
offense,
the ones shooting the puck.
You appreciate that they're actually the ones getting the puck on the net and are trying some damn.
It's also a nice
things
place
out
to
there.
bet. Bouchard shot props are very kind to me.
I like that.
Stuart Skinner, he's going to get the start. He is 5-1 in his career against the Ottawa Senators. Get this, 285 goals against, 903 save percentage, and with a win tonight, would get his 100th career win. I've said that for a couple games now. Hopefully tonight. Now I'm backwards, Brett. Tonight can be the time where he gets that done. For the Senators, on the other side of things, Dylan Cousins, he's riding a 4-game point streak for the Sens. 3 goals, 5 points in 6 games this season. And he's basically been just under a point-per-game player since joining the Ottawa Senators. So without Brady Tkachuk, look for Dylan Cousins to take more of that offensive load, I would think. But Shane Pinto, this dude just keeps on scoring goals. I am going to refuse to make all the jokes that I want to make, but he was the NHL's 2nd star of the week this past week. And as I said, became the first Sens player ever to score 7 goals in his first 6 games of the season. We saw Connor Brown score a revenge goal against the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday. The moment you saw him get that breakaway, you went, oh, fuck, this is totally in the back of the net.
I absolutely did.
For a guy who, once again, had a lot of breakaway opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers. First half of his career, probably missed on most of those breakaway opportunities. It was so classic, he was going to do it. Keep your eye out for David Perron tonight. Former Oiler, spent 2 seasons with the Oilers. He has goals in back-to-back games for the Senators, both on the power play. I see it in the stars already. I don't want to be right, but something tells me I'm going to be right. And then Linus Ullmark will get the start. It's his 3rd start in a row. Brutal numbers, as I said, but he does own a 3-2-1 career record against the Edmonton Oilers dating back to 2019. Daniel, what's your storyline? What's your key to victory for the game tonight? Because, storyline-wise, just win, baby, is pretty much what I think. That's all I could say is any means necessary. I'm tired of doing post games, talking about losses, how they can't complete passes, how they can't shoot the puck wherever they are. But is there a specific maybe key to victory you're looking at? For me, I think it's shots on goal. When I look at Linus Ullmark and these numbers, and its defensive numbers for the Senators, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. Struggling offensively, they're struggling defensively. Probably a good way to do that. Throw a lot of rubber on net, make it greasy, make it gross. Let's break the dam. Let's get the floodgates open, and then maybe goals will start to follow. But do you have any specific storyline or key to victory?
I think it's even more so specific to what you're talking about. It's the forwards.
Yeah.
The forwards have to be the ones that drive offense and are the ones that are attempting the offense. Chat started talking about a guy like Jack Roslovic. I've liked what I've seen out of him as he's progressed. I think that it was a clear indication of a player that didn't have an NHL training camp and didn't have an NHL preseason to be able to even get those feet underneath him. But the offense just has to be better, and that starts with our star players. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is the only guy that I'm giving a pass to right now on the offense and on the forward core. So for me, it's down to the forwards to get this started. And like you said, 31st ranked penalty kill in the NHL right now. What an opportunity for our power play to be able to just pounce and take every single opportunity to shove that dagger in the neck.
Get right spot, get right spot, get right spot, get right spot, get right spot for the Edmonton Oilers. Also, Shay's in. He has a question. Can we get an honest take on Jack Roslovic? I'll give you mine in that I think he's kind of been exactly as advertised, right? It was speedy, fast player that plays with pace. And yes, he does. He's got the speed. He does have the offensive skill. You can see it in the smart, subtle, quick plays he makes, either, in the offensive zone, ringing the puck here, going body other that way, even in the defensive zone. But I made the joke earlier today that I see a little bit of cross of Ryan McLeod in him. That's just a lot of cardio going down, just a lot of skating going around. But it's too early to give that much of a judgment, even though it does kind of feel like November 1st when Zach Hyman returns might be the, get my language, but like the shedder get off the pot time where you need to figure out what you have in Jack Roslovic.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
I think he's finding chemistry with RNH. I'm also sure it doesn't help that, you're playing with Leon one day, you're playing with Nudes the next day, you might be playing with Rico the next day. Who knows? But I think it's just, we got to be patient here with Jack Roslovic. And he has the skill. He could put it together. I'm a little concerned that it might just be some empty calorie stats there of skating around. But once again, who knows?
Fancy stats.
Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Final buzzer. Couldn't have said it any better. Roslovic. Meh. Yeah, I'll go with that. Maybe even mid so far. But once again, be patient. We need patience here. Bert, just pull it up, maybe the DFO lineup one more time here for the folks in case they be joining late. It's also brought to you. Sorry, I did that in the wrong order. Oodle Noodle. Shout out to Oodle Noodle, my favorite spot to get a meal in the city. Tonight we eating Dogpatch. Tomorrow I'm eating Oodle Noodle, baby.
Later
There's no way.
I'm eating Oodle Noodle. I'm going to be honest.
I'm actually pretty sure I have some leftover Oodle Noodle in my fridge now that I think about it right now. I always have Oodle Noodle in my fridge.
On supply.
Shout out to them. Download the app, Google Play Store or the App Store if you're an iPhone man like myself. But once you get the app, sign up, create the account, because you can accumulate rewards points and all that awesome stuff. Dan, I'm 30 now. I am addicted to gaining rewards points, and I have the app.
Welcome to
for
old age.
Every food place that's ever existed. If I know I can get a discount on a virtual coupon,
you've got to. In this economy, come on now.
Absolutely. You got to be an idiot not to. And Oodle Noodle, you got to be an idiot not to be ordering Oodle Noodle. Sorry, Bert. Pull it up now as we see it there on our screen. And I want to talk about the top line in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So they're going to start it together. They're going to have Vasily Podkolzin on that line, and it's been in the top six. A little bit of a jumbled mess. I don't think it's anything new for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not coming at Nobby for him bringing out the line blender, because the argument has been that not much in the top six, besides Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, once again, that's the caveat every time, has really worked for these Edmonton Oilers. So I get it. Last game of the road trip, empty the tank, unload the clip, put your best foot forward in both Connor and Leon. And I like the addition of Vasily Podkolzin. He is clearly not your typical prototype top six player, right? You look at his stats, look at his skill set. That's not what you typically think of. But we saw it for 60-plus games last season, stapled on the wing with Leon Draisaitl, because skilled players like playing with Vasily Podkolzin. And tonight, I think his job is going to be very simple. You get in low, bang bodies, retrieve pucks, get them to the skilled players, and go plant your ass in that blue paint, get your stick on the ice, and maybe Pods can be a way to break the dam open, scoring a greasy, gross one. Pods, thoughts on him getting the top opportunity there? Because, once again, there are more stereotypical top 6 like forwards, but I think when it's getting ugly here for the Oilers, you need to get super ugly with the Pods style of game. Score a greasy, gross one. Thoughts on Pods?
Stupid simple. I love
Stupid
it.
simple.
I love it. It's what this team needs. It's what, and honestly, he works well with Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And so then you just mix in some Connor McDavid up there, and hopefully you're going to be able to find some offense. But again, I expect it, and I think Oiler fans need to demand it out of Ottawa, the Ottawa Senators matchup for this Leon Draisaitl combination with Connor McDavid to be able to pay dividends for us. I'm thinking I've been scrambling on my phone looking to see if there's maybe even a hat trick option for one Connor McDavid.
That takes balls, and we need balls. Dan.
You know,
we'll take it.
I'm having a gander because I
peak,
really do
peaky.
think that this team it's an opportunity for a turnaround. It's an opportunity for shifting the narrative a little bit. We've all been joking about how October sucks to be an Oilers fan. It's time to shift that narrative. We're heading into November now.
Yeah, I gotta go watch an Oilers game this weekend, which is still October on the weekend. Yeah, so let's turn this shit around before I need to go do that in person. Final one on the Oilers I want to touch on. It's been a weird start to the year for Andrew Mangiapane. Comes flying out of the gates, 2 goals in 2 games, 3 points in 3 games. But I do think it is fair to say we need a little bit more from him, because I was shocked when I checked these numbers. Daniel, Andrew Mangiapane through 6 games of the season has 2 shots on goal. Yes, he has scored on both of those shots, but for me, that's an unacceptable number to have, especially when you've been playing in the top 6 last game or 2, playing on the top line with Connor McDavid. We talk about needing to simplify. We talk about needing to rip pucks. Andrew Mangiapane having 2 shots, that's kind of crazy to me. He's shooting perfect. He's 100% right now. So look for the Monge to get it going offensively. And then final thing, that third line of Savoy, Philp, and Trent Frederick, I likey. Me likey. That's nicey. Shout out John Gruden. I like the way that those guys play. If Noah Philp gets taken out of the lineup again, I will riot. I will lose it. But something tells me that's not going to happen soon.
It's something that
I think Nobby saw it in the last game.
We keep talking about it, and it's something that we keep lamenting, I think, as fans. Is again, it's just a little bit of continuity to this lineup, a little bit of some normalcy for these guys. You've seen out of Trent Frederick that I think it's a little bit matchup based, perhaps for him, that he does like to play that third line, fourth line style of game as well. To me, those young guys, they should be able to excel, but just give them an opportunity, a little bit of runway to work together.
Give them a little leash. Give them a little. You can yank it back eventually, but let them try.
1,000%. And to go back to your Mangiapane point, it is so frustrating that when you look around this roster and you're just screaming and begging at every single one of these guys, and you say, 2 shots is unacceptable. And it shouldn't be that way because he's 2 for 2. But yet we're just begging for offense from somebody.
Someone's got to do it. Let's make the guys perfect do it.
Somebody put the offense together and just try to get some pucks on the net.
I also like Sadistic just said Sucktober.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And then final buzzer, this made me giggle. I'm guessing Pods is on the 3rd before the 2nd period because Nobby. Maybe your guess is just as good as mine.
Just give me a break because you're right. You're probably right. If not by the first 10 minutes at the end of the first
we'll
period.
know. We'll know. Also, if Stuart Skinner has to bail this team out in the first 2 minutes of the game again, not going to like that. But let's go now to the goaltender report brought to you by Odd Company, Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day. And they got a lot of them down here at Dogpatch this evening and all season long. They got them in the tap. Like they got the keg tap back there. Of course, they have the delicious cans, which you see on your screen here as well, but they keep them coming. We're enjoying them. Shout out to Odd Company. Bert, pull it up for me. The tail of the tape between the 2 goaltenders. That feels good to look at, especially after a nice sip of Odd Company Nation beer.
Does.
Stuart Skinner, 1-2-1 record, 2.23 goals against with a 910 save percentage. And there's Allmark, 399 with an 848.
I noticed the graphic is missing one stat.
What's that?
Stat, Aaron?
What's that?
Quality starts. I've heard
it has a bunch of thumbs up. Or
a brand new. No, he does have a graphic.
I know.
One Liam Horobin has come up with a new a new stat category that we're hoping we can catch on.
I do.
Quality starts for goalies.
I literally wrote here 1-2-1 record, but I think he's been better. 2.5 quality starts out of 4,
Which
according to
means
Oilers
that-
Nation's own
Yes.
Liam Horriban.
We started out with a new system, and within 3 games, he had to come up with a brand new category called so-so. So Liam's category is vibe-based only.
Yep.
It's thumbs up for a quality start. So-so is
It's just
in the middle.
Gladiator. It's just
and then
Gladiator. But we don't
thumbs
kill him
down.
if it's bad. That's
No,
not,
we don't.
It's not
No.
like Gladiator.
And
It's
so,
not like Gladiator.
so he believed that it was Flames was a thumbs down. And
Yeah,
then what was
yeah.
the other one? Flames and then it was
Then
so-so
Rangers
against
thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Islanders, thumbs up. And then Detroit sideways.
So-so. Yeah.
So
And I, you know what? I give credit for that because Stuart Skinner has not been the problem. Yes, that Calgary Flames hovering over the puck moment of glitch.
we're past that. That
it
was that.
happens. But the goaltending has not been an issue for this team for the season.
I make this joke repeatedly that if I would have told you 6 games ago to start the season that the most consistent part of the Edmonton Oilers game was going to be their goaltending and specifically one Stuart Skinner, I probably would have been slapped across the face by a couple Oilers fans out there. But here we are, only a couple games in. Nice. There's the graphic on your screen. I also love the photo he chose for one Stuart Skinner. I like Shea in here. This was from earlier. Let's give Stuart Skinner his flowers, though. Other than that one egregious flub with the puck at his stick, he has been playing well. The 9-10, that shows it. But the eye test has been there. He's made the big stops. And like I keep saying, very early on in hockey games, he is bailing out the Edmonton Oilers because they can't complete passes in their own zone. They are being careless with the puck. I love what I've seen from Stu so far. Once again, the issue has never been that he's incapable of performing well. It is the consistency and keeping it together for long periods of time. So far, so good here from our pal Stuart Skinner, and then Linus Ullmark on the other side. I do believe that this guy's a former Vezina Trophy winner. He is 32 years old, so he is on the back half of 30. I got to start choosing my words and calling these guys old because I am now 30, so it's kind of like a shot at me as well. I don't think Ullmark's going to stay this bad all season. I think this team will find a way to figure it out. But personally, there's no reason to think that he's going to figure it out tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. He's going to be in tough. We know they've struggled, but we all know what the Oilers are capable of offensively, trying to chase Ullmark. We got to go quick here. Let's quickly do the away lineup, brought to you by Greta Bar-Yeg. We are not there right now. We're down at Dogpatch, but you, come on. You know how I feel about Greta Bar-Yeg. Arcade, bar, street food, some of the most fun games you could play. I mean, the rec room, there's too much going on over there. I love Greta for the vibe they got going on, and I'll tell you, the food at Greta, absolutely incredible. Maybe let's start sharing Dogpatch menu items over with Greta and Greta menu items over with Dogpatch.
I love it.
Let's just make all my favorite things come together
Synergy.
with Nation Beer and Oodle Noodle. Synergy, baby. But shout out Greta. We'll be there throughout the entire season. Keep it locked on our socials for all of our events. Bert, pull it up for me here quickly if you can. The projected lineup for the Ottawa Senators. Your top line, Tim Stützle with Dylan Cousins and Drake Batherson. Your second line, Michael Amadio with Shane Pinto, who's red hot goal scoring, and one Claude Giroux. Your third line, weird, wild seeing Nick Cousins anywhere but the fourth line, but there he is with Ridley Gregg and the former Oiler David Perron. Then it's Fabian Zetterlund, fourth line with Lars Eller and Ollie Lexel, I think is how you say that name. We'll let Jack and Louie tell us a little bit later. And then your decor, Jake Sanderson with Artem Zub, Shabbat with Nick Jensen, Tyler Clevin with Nicholas Matinpalo, who I know was a Finn and was called up to the Finnish Four Nations team throughout the last season. Daniel,
4 of those names were made up.
Those are NPCs if
No
I have
way.
ever seen NPCs in my day before.
Congratulations to them on all playing their first NHL game today. No, that's a joke. I shouldn't say
Dan,
that.
let me ask you here. Who's your player to watch? Because obviously Shane Pinto has been red hot, and they're lacking Brady Tkachuk. But you look at that top 6. Stützle, he can score goals. Dylan Cousins, I mentioned, has been just under a point per game player since joining the Sens. Drake Batherson, he's pretty consistent. We know the style he brings. Pinto's on fire. Claude Giroux, well, up there in years. Didn't call him old right there. Who's your player to watch, let's say, in the forward group for the Ottawa Senators?
Well, it's easy for me, and it's going to be on brand with my with hockeyfights.com. I think that there's a secret to the sauce where this Edmonton Oilers team lost a little bit last year when they lost to Corey Perry is grabbing a fight. And the most punchable, voted the most punchable player in the NHL right now is one Nick Cousins. So he's the guy that I want to watch. I want to see if this Oilers team maybe tries to just kind of stir it up a little bit, mix it up a little bit, get emotional in this game. It's an early game for Oiler fans. It's an early game for the Oilers before they head out of town and are coming back home. So I'm looking at Nick Cousins, the most punchable face in the NHL.
That is a player to watch because he makes me angry when I look at him sometimes. I say that jokingly, of course. The other thing I also want to point out, Louis DeBrusque today on Oilers Nation Every Day, that's how lacking in physical play the Edmonton Oilers have been this season, is that when he mentioned, when your game's struggling and it's not going well, lay the body, take a number, go lay a hit. Kind of turned to Liam and we both went, well, yeah, like hitting's a part of hockey as well, because there hasn't been much of that so far to start the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe some of that physicality, we'll see a little bit more of that, and that can drag them into the fight. That'd be nice to see. For me and my player to watch, I think I'm going to go Drake Batherson. He knows how to score goals. He's obviously on that top line, but maybe a little Germany parlay, Leon anytime goal, Stützle anytime goal. I don't know. I have a hard time betting on the other team. I am not Matthew Wozniak.
Dangerous.
He does that every time. And speaking of bets, let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So on the weekend, I had one on Saturday. I went 3 for 3. Sunday, I let Brett make the bankroll. She did not hit. But today we thought it out. We did it together, and I feel pretty good about this one. Your options, keep the first photo I used as well. Over 6.5 total goals. It's a puck being buried into an open cage against Linus Ullmark.
Savage.
Over 6.5 is plus 120 right now. As I mentioned, the Sens are averaging 5 goals against per game. That's just one way. Linus Ullmark's goals against is 3.99. They have allowed 4 at least in every single game. So by that logic, you just allow 2 again. Whatever. So here we got the over for the total goals for both teams, Oilers and Sens. Has been the greatest start to the year for one Darnell Nurse, but I will tell you, he has been blocking shots at a pretty good rate, and I've been making a considerable amount of money off of it. He has 5, 2, and 6 blocks in his last 3 games, and he's hit this line of 2+ in 5 out of 6 games this season. And then your final one, I wasn't comfortable enough to. You should be betting a Bouche point because he's got to get it eventually. He's gone 6 games without one, but Bouchard's shot prop has been hitting pretty consistently. It doesn't feel like he's ripping the puck as much from the power play. Granted, over the weekend, I would say there was an uptick in that specifically, but Bouch has 3, 4, 3, 4 shots on goal in his last 4 games, and much like Darnell Nurse, has hit this in 5 out of his last 6 games. I believe parlayed together, this was plus 470. Let me check because I already placed it. Daniel, which of these 3 do you like the most?
You know what? I'm really liking your Darnell Nurse 2 blocks. The man was on it against New Jersey, I think.
He can't pass the puck, but he can eat the puck for sure.
So, you know what? He understands the moment. He's a guy that's been around this team for a while. He's going to be blocking some shots. I like Darnell.
Yeah.
2+
Bert,
blocks.
let me know in the background, the voice of God, when it comes down, which of these 3 bets do you like the most? And Bert, did you spider up today? Did you beat up today?
No spider today. Once again, NFL took a toll on your boy. So
Great goat.
we're waiting for a good old shame reload. For me, I like the blocks just because, like you said, Darnell has been eating pucks lately, but our boy is back in the lineup. Jake Wallman is back in the lineup, and you confidently said to me while we were making the bankroll that you don't think that Jake Wallman will get 3+ blocks. He had 100.
Whoa! I never said that.
Games tonight.
I didn't feel comfortable betting on that because 3 is plus 110. I wanted 2, but it's minus 300 for 2 block shots for Wallman. I felt better value with Darnell at 2.
It's fair.
Well, 3+. 3+ for Jake Wallman. It would have been. It's the same.
You want me to throw in Jake Wallman on top of these? You want me to make this a 4-leg Bordzy bankroll? Because I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
You already know. He's back. It's Jake Wallman's first game back with the Edmonton Oilers after I get ink of his number on my leg, and you're not even putting him on the bankroll. I think is
whoa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
before when I just had these three that you see on your screen parlayed together, that was plus 475.
Yep.
When you throw in the Jake Wallman 3+ block shots, that is plus 1150.
Wow.
Do so responsibly. Do so at your own risk. Only bet what you're willing to lose. But let's ride, Brad. I'm totally in on that. Let's do it. I'll do it right now. Final one, Zachary. That was hand up. That was fucked up. Daniel, give me a score prediction and anytime goal scorer. I love you.
I've got 5-1 Edmonton Oilers, and I've got Connor McDavid scoring 2 goals tonight.
Ooh, like that. Get right spot. I'm going 5-2 for the Edmonton Oilers. That means the over is going cash. And I'm going to go with an Evan Bouchard anytime goal on the power play from the point. Boosh, bomb.
And I got a little extra bonus bet for you on the Blue Jays. Blue Jays to win after losing or after falling behind in the series is plus 450.
I
Plus
love
450.
that.
Well, they're
Yes.
definitely falling behind in the series.
Cut your own mic. Cut your own mic, Brett. I don't want to hear that. Actually, never mind. What's your score prediction and anytime goal scorer? And then we'll head out.
I'll go 5-2 Oil. I keep going back to the 2020 Canadian division where the Oil just curb stomped the Sens. So I'm sticking with that type of team. And now can I not go with Jake Wallman? Jake Wallman, anytime goal, baby.
Also, Bert, you can't see it, but there's Oilers jerseys coming in. Our pal Northside Norm with the huge fist and the beers. He's here. Reminder, come on down to Dogpatch. We're going to be here this evening, enjoying some food, enjoying some drinks, and hopefully breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W a little bit later on. Oilers Nation After Dark. I love you all. I love you. I love Brett above. I also love Dogpatch and everybody in here today. We're going to have a good one. Once again, keep it locked here. Throw down your like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the ON YouTube. And then get in the post-game YouTube chat during the game. And we will talk it out at the conclusion of this one. I love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Peace out. We'll talk in a bit. Woo!